Okay, if you're watching this, may I say a big thank you. And this is Itsy Bitsy. Don't ask where the name came from. Now, this should have been episode 3, and as you can see, we now have this, which is the gymnasium. One thing I am extremely irritated by is if you come with me to my recordings folder, you'll see here, Untitled 3. What did I do, people? There's the microphone! I am honestly heartbroken. The duration there is 49 minutes. So I went 49 minutes without a microphone. This is why, people, you should test your recordings before you record. Because I'm heartbroken. So what I'm going to do is do an episode now because I'm not well. I had my COVID vaccine yesterday, my first one. And unfortunately, I have had a really bad reaction to it. So I'm not very well anyway. But I am just going to go through a brief summary of what I did. Which, I'm not going to lie, isn't exactly much. And then just talk through what I am going to do with my next episode. Which I will probably record now tomorrow. Because, honest to God, I'm heartbroken. So, in episode 3, what I'll do is I'll get it playing in the background as well. So, if we load it up, then we'll get like a general idea of what I was doing. So, as you can see, not much going on. So, I was just going around in the loop, doing my usual, getting everything set up. And I was explaining about how I didn't really want to keep talking about where I was placing things and etc. Just because at the same time, like, it's all well and good me telling you what I'm doing, but you're watching it. Like, I don't need to be so descriptive. At the same time, on this playthrough, I do believe I also put in the chrono crystals, which I'm assuming will appear at some point. Yeah, I've got one there. So, what I was trying to do on this playthrough is just see the difference in my health per day with the meadows. Now, the only thing that I didn't realise is when it comes to the chrono crystals, they are essentially like road lanterns. You can only place them near the road. So I was extremely disappointed. I thought you could put them further afield. Turns out that you can't. So it did mess up severely what I wanted to do. But at the same time, I can understand why you can't just place them here, there and everywhere. So I'm going to skip a bit forward. And obviously this is where now the meadow has started coming in there. So this is where now I was just thinking around because mountains I normally do down. Same with meadows. I just want to go left and right this time. Just to kind of mix it up a little bit and just see what else we could do that was a bit different. Now, the goal here, this is where I was explaining about the resources. So, the bottom number where your bag is how many spheres that you have. The top one is how many parts you have. Now, depending on what you're after, it's a different number of parts that go in to make a sphere. So, like, I think it's 12 branches make a wood sphere, which is like a piece of proper wood. Or like 13 scrap metal makes a solid metal ingot or something. Something along those lines. Excuse me. So the goal here was literally, number 1, to learn my lesson about not being so cocky when it comes to this game, because I seem to go on a bit too long. And number 2, it was just to really get the materials, because I really wanted to get the smithy and the gymnasium. To be fair though, you wouldn't have missed much anyway, because my goal was to build one or the other and then stop anyway. So it's not too bad. Now, I did die once already because I did let myself just go around just a little bit too far. So I'm just going to skip ahead and see where we get up to with it. But to be fair, there wasn't really much. I do believe... Oh yeah, here we go. So I had built a herbalist hut. So I'll just redo this one for you now when it comes through. Okay.
It's a miracle that we could find some fertile soil, and that we were able to save some seeds of precious healing herbs.
But the real miracle is that all these healing poultices and balms still have any effect.
We've already lost many people because of the cataclysm. It would be nice not to lose more to disease. And these potions can also help you. Take a bottle or two on your trip, and your chances of getting back unharmed will be much higher.
And there you go. That's all you missed. Cringy voice acting. So here I was explaining that I'd gone into a run and I knew that I wanted to build those two buildings there, the smithy and gymnasium. However, I didn't actually keep a track of the resources that I needed, which obviously set me back. So I was going into the runs blind. I didn't know what I should really be aiming for. As it turns out, I was one resource off anyway of completing it, which is a bit of a shame really, but at the end of the day, I had to retreat. It's just what had to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, so I'm going to go back into it now. I did unlock the swamp card, which came from putting down the herbalist hut. So that one produces a mosquito every 4 days. The only other effect it has is healing effects affect you negatively when you're in the swamp, but the only thing that doesn't is potions, which is another wonderful thing that you unlock when you get the herbalist hut is potions, which you can now see there is a new icon in my top right, just to show me how many potions I have. Now, with that as well, each time you go around the campfire, you then get 2 potions back. So it's always a benefit, but it does only heal you for 4% of your health, which isn't really the end of the world, especially when you're first starting out. It's more, the further in you get, and obviously the higher health you have, the more benefits you do gain from it, which I think really speaks for itself, to be honest. So, going forward, I was keeping a track of the resources up here. This is coming up towards the end now, because I've gone past the 40-minute mark. My chest was really starting to hurt, and I was thinking, I need to just get one of these buildings. So I was just hoping and praying to get the resources to kind of complete it. So, as you can see here, we were nearly there. I think what did it in the end was just the treasuries and things, and obviously the chests, and there we go. So this is what I came out with at the end. So I got to keep only some of what I wanted. I did realistically need the extra metal and the extra wood, and I do apologise, my cats are fighting in the background. I'm not sure if it's getting picked up on the mic, but this is what we end up leaving with. This is what enabled me to get the gymnasium. So we go ahead and put that down, and they basically just have a talk on their dialogue about how what they want to do now is build up everything, because obviously you can get the kitchens and things. You can have an alchemist, and they just want to rebuild the community with things that I bring back, because obviously my memory is linked to the rest of the world, well, the rest of the universe, so to speak. And they were saying how if I come back with branches, it means that you can put up a wooden wall with ease, in comparison to them trying, because the moment they look away, it's gone. Whereas if I did it, it's there, which is why they rely on us to rebuild everything. So, in all fairness, there wasn't really too much missed. But to say that I'm annoyed is an understatement. But these things unfortunately do happen, and as a streamer, as a YouTuber first starting out, to be fair, this is something I'm definitely going to learn from. So I will be doing test recordings now before every single video, but it's never normally not worked. Not too sure why it hasn't worked this time, in all honesty, so we'll just see what happens going forward. However, excuse me, but I will say one thing: I do love you all, and thank you very much for being here. And if you have watched this video, I also thank you a lot as well. And thank you for your patience, because now I did also skip a day, but with me having my first dose of the vaccine, it has really just knocked me off my feet. But I am hoping to get some more recordings done over the weekend, and what I'm going to do is bank in a few recordings, just so there is daily content there for you as well. But in the meantime, guys, I love you all. I hope you all stay safe, and I will inevitably see you in the next video where, you know, it's actually going to work. Alright guys, have a good one. Bye bye for now from Itsy Bitsy.